Hey guys, Graz here from Life Pro Gaming, and in today's video I want to discuss about London Studios' Blood and Truth and how the new PS5 patch is just amazing. Alright, let me just remove this and let's get this video started. So yeah, I want to discuss, and I just feel like this game is just not getting enough attention. Blood and Truth from London Studios, an original PS5, well not PS5, sorry, PS4 game. Available obviously on the PSVR. If you have the Pro version, there was some upgrades made to the game, but I just want to give a shout out. So London Studio made an official announcement that they patched this game specifically for the PS5, and I'll explain to you guys exactly what was added to the game. But before I get started, is when I used to play, just my own impressions, when I used to play Blood and Truth on the PS, I got a PS4 Pro. So I know that the graphics were upgraded a little bit. I have to be honest, like after maybe an hour game through, after about an hour 15 minutes of playing, I used to get a headache. Yeah, you know, there was a little bit of squinting. I found that the game was missing a little bit of resolution, so I would get a headache. But man, since I've updated the patch for the PS5, and I'm like, I hope this is going to make a huge difference, and I re-pop back the headset and I play the game, I am blown away by what London Studio has done. So I'll let you guys know what the major improvements are on Blood and Truth for the PSVR. If you have obviously the PS5 and you download the patch, it's a free patch, no cost whatsoever. It is a free patch. So the first one being the resolution. So on the PS4, if you're playing Blood and Truth on the PS4, they use what's called dynamic resolution. And how dynamic resolution works is that the resolution is going to change depending on how complex a scene is, and or whatever is going on a specific specific scene. So if the scenes are more complex, that there's explosions, typically what happens is that the game is going to dynamically decrease its resolution in order to reach the frame rate that it wants. So on the PS4, it runs at a 1440p dynamic resolution, and you know, it'll probably change up and down. But on the PS5, they're able to run it at 4K. So yeah, I know what you're gonna say. Like, yeah, they run assets or the resolution at 4K, but obviously it's gonna be downscaled because the PSVR is 1080p per eye. So obviously you're not gonna get 4K resolution, but they are running a higher resolution on that game, which is awesome. The second thing is the frame rates. So London Studio actually made an upgrade as well to Blood and Truth when it comes to the frame rate. So on the PS4, the game runs at 60 FPS, but then it's reprojected to 120 Hertz. I'm not exactly sure what that does to the game, but the original is ran at 60 FPS. On the PS5, it's going to be running at 90 FPS, and the output is also going to be 90 FPS. So this makes, just for a better flow, a better visual for the game itself, you know, having higher frame rates, it's going to make the game a lot smoother. And in turn, it actually helps with the resolution as well. So PS5 is going to run at 90 FPS. That's amazing. The other thing that London Studio did for the game is that they included the highest detailed assets. So detailed assets are going to vary based on how far you're looking at a part or how close is it, and again, how complex the scene is. But what's nice about the PS5 version is that it's going to output its highest detailed assets at all times. It doesn't matter what's going on in the scenes, if it's a high frame rate scene, or if there's a lot of explosions, or a high action scene, or a high movement scene. It doesn't matter. It's going to be able to output its highest detailed assets at all time. That's awesome. And maybe the last point is the textures. So all the textures on the new Blood and Truth on the PS5 is going to have updated textures. So they have what's called texture filtering, which is going to be a lot faster. So because the PS5 has an SSD, and as you guys know, SSD, the read and write speeds are super quick. When you have a certain, let's say, geometry, or you have a certain model in a scene, the textures is what gives it really, okay, you want a part to look either shiny, or you want a part to look dirty, or rusted, or scuffed. That's what your texture is. So what's going to be nice is that typically sometimes, I'm sure you've seen in these games, is when you're walking up let's say to a box, you'll see some texture pop in. So we won't have that anymore, since we're going to be utilizing the entire power, not the entire power, but a lot of the power from the SSD from the PlayStation. So the textures are going to look a lot better. They're going to be able to use better textures, and they're going to be able to load in those textures a lot quicker as well. So in conclusion, guys, and I'm not going to show you footage, because I find that a lot of the footage you see on YouTube for VR games doesn't do it justice. But one thing for sure, guys, if you own a PSVR and you have a PS5, this is a must play. And I want to thank, actually, London Studio for doing something like this. It was a free upgrade. We understand that, you know, in terms of percent-wise, so let's say there was 115 million PS4 consoles sold, and there was only 5 million PSVR sold. So PlayStation VR was only about 5 million. So the percentage is very small. But, you know, we, you know, thank you, London Studio, for doing this for free, giving this PS5 patch, utilizing the extra power on the PS5 to make these games really come alive. And I hope this is what we're going to expect as well from other developers. You know, taking the existing games on PSVR, using the extra power of the PS5. And even if there's a cost to it, I'm sure some people might be willing to pay. Obviously, if it's a free upgrade, that is amazing, and that would be great. So if more developers start to do what London Studio did with taking, you know, Blood and Truth, which was already an amazing game, probably for sure in the top 10. If you have a PSVR, this should be in your top 10 list of games. Taking that already an amazing game and updating, giving us a free update to use the power, the extra power of the PS5. So other studios, please do the same thing. Astrobot, whatever it is, take existing games that exist currently on the PSVR, and if you guys can give it like a fresh upgrade, that would be fantastic. So that's it for today, guys. Like, subscribe, and leave some comments, and I'm looking forward to the next video. Be safe out there, and we'll speak soon.